Hi, I'm Chef Joe Ciminera with Taste This TV. Great show for you here today. I feel a little Tex-Mex in me. You know, big city, New York City. How about a little Campeon Cantina Mexicana? That's what this place is, located on 16th Street. We're gonna step inside and taste some Latin cuisine done right. Liz, how are you? Good to see you.
How are you?
How's everything? Well, I hear it's
Great.
a party here at
It's
Campeon.
always a party in here.
Good.
Look at all the TVs. Hello.
There's a lot of TVs, a lot of action going on here. I hear it's the happening spot here on 16th Street. You want all your Tex-Mex, all your good stuff. It's right here.
Union Square, yes it is.
So now you're at the bar, you're greeting people coming in, but what makes this place like happening? Why is it so special? What's up with the buzz here?
I mean, beside the happy hour drinks, 4 to 7, Monday through Fridays, you know, the margaritas and the food. Come on, let's
You can't,
be real.
you
can't
gotta get
get any real than that.
So now we are tasting today, right? Because on this show we gotta always eat. And what are we tasting?
We're tasting today the shrimp tacos.
Oh, nice.
You know, for my shrimp people. And we're also tasting the chicken press plancha
Nice.
and the the steak quesadilla.
Steak quesadilla, one of my favorite. All right, I'm heading over to the table and I am hungry.
Yes.
Maybe a drink with that, maybe a drink with that?
Of course, frozen on the rocks margarita. We got flavors too.
Let's do it, let's do it. So now we're gonna get started on a tasting frenzy, and I brought along here Andrea. How are you, Andrea?
Good morning. Nice
Now
to be
you are
here.
Andrea from Ricos, but what's the full name so that I don't butcher it?
I am Andrea Zweig Wagner, and I'm proud to say I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Ricos Products.
Incredible products they are. Now I was just telling Andrea, I'm a big fan of the product. It's so versatile. You can work with it, you can cook with it, you could use it the way it is, you can eat it right out of the can and dip it. And that's actually one of the first recipes that we have here. But even before, I guess, you talk about the nachos and going into which cheese product you got, because you have a whole line of them.
That's right.
What about the history of the product? Now, you go talk about companies that just are new, they're startups, not this company.
No, Joe, this company has a very special history to it. It all started back in the late 1800s, and it's basically a quintessential American success story. Wow. There's hard work, there's heartbreak, and there's success. So
all the foundings for a company.
All the foundings for a company, and a great novel, to say the least.
Yeah.
So Rosario Liberto was 14 years old, and he decided to leave Sicily and everybody he knew to look for the American dream. So he came over to the United States, and in 1909 he took root in San Antonio, where he got married, and he opened up Liberto Grocery. And there sold a lot of groceries, mostly peanuts and coffee. He sold peanuts to the touring circuses that went around.
Really?
Yes. And then
Definitely a mover and a shaker.
he definitely was an entrepreneur at heart, and he had a son, Enrico. By the way, Enrico's short name is Rico. That's where the Rico's name came from. And Enrico came into the business and was able to actually pull it out of bankruptcy during the Depression.
Wow.
And then Enrico had a son by the name of Frank. And Frank had a unique vision. He wanted to bring concession nachos to the world.
Wow, interesting. And that's exactly what they did, right?
That's exactly what he did. In fact, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary of the invention of nachos, which happened in 1976. And Frank brought them to Arlington Stadium in Texas, where the Rangers play. And interestingly, a lot of us old folks remember Howard Cosell.
Oh, sure.
And he would be the commentator. And so he was commenting on a game. He was given the nachos. He loved them so much that when there was a great play, he would say, "What a nacho play!" Or there was a great throw, and he would go, "That's a nacho man!" So he helped us actually make nachos a national name.
Wow.
So it was very exciting. We came on the map. The company is still family held. Frank is still alive. He's in his 80s and still enjoying nachos. His son is now the CEO and president, and the 5th generation is now working in the business.
You know, that's a lot to say for a company that has had successors all the way down. You know, it was started by the grandfather, passed to the son, and just down the road just goes to show you the passion.
Yes.
Because really, unless you have the passion, you can't do that with a business.
That's right.
You know, passion, good product. I've seen so many companies fall over the years because they don't have that. But when you have the passion, it's amazing how far you can go. And let's face it, in today's age, how many companies can you really say have been around that long with the same family?
Exactly. And it was passion, and then it was also just having a vision. So not only are we now present in 75% of the cinemas across the United States with our nachos, you can find us in a lot of the collegiate and the professional stadiums. We're shipping to 57 different countries, and we are in just about every U.S. retailer across the United States in packages such as the canned cheese sauce and the chips, so that people can now enjoy the concessions that they eat at the stadium or during their movie. They can now enjoy that in the comfort of their own home.
Interesting. Incredible. Really incredible story. Where can we get these products? I mean, I know where they are.
Right.
They're really distributed on a global, at least a national level.
Well, a global basis, because we're in, our number one international market is Mexico. Believe it or not, our number 2 market is South Korea, of all places.
Wow.
So we are in countries around Europe, around Asia, around Middle East, just about everywhere. And then if you go to your favorite grocer around the United States, you should be able to find our cheese sauce.
It is readily available. Now, what's the plan for, before we get into what products you have, what's the vision for the company, say, in the next 5 years?
So the vision for the company is to continue to grow. Last year, we had a record year of sales. We just closed now our next year, another year of record sales. And so it's really through, as you said, the passion of everybody who works in the company, as well as the innovation and the continued product development. So we have cheese sauces, but we also have chips. We also have jalapenos, we have popcorn, we have peanuts, we have snow cone syrup, all the fun food out there.
Popcorn. Love
So
the
yes,
popcorn.
exactly. I mean, what else can you enjoy when you're sitting with the family, watching TV, playing a game? And so we've got it all for the family.
Now, talking about the cheese sauce, because we talk about it that it's in a can, and that's really because you're going to get the freshest ingredient, the best product possible in the can, and people should know that. This is not sitting in plastic, and you're leaching toxins into your food. This is really the right way to can a good product. How many of these products do you have, and can you go into them a little bit?
Sure. I'd love to just comment on what you just said as well, because yes, people look at a can and sometimes go, I'd rather have the jar where I can see the product. However, the can really allows us to get the best quality product because it's what we call aseptically packed, which means no preservatives are needed. So everything in there is without preservatives, versus you look at the jar or you look at bars or what have you.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And so, right, we really spend a lot of time on making sure our product is the highest quality it can be.
Not to mention, you look in the ingredient list and you actually see ingredients that make up cheese.
Exactly right. Point well said.
Edible.
Exactly. And so actually, this gourmet nacho is our number 1 cheese sauce sold across the United States, but we have several others as well. We have what's called premium cheddar, which is a little bit less flavorful. It's basically just the cheese sauce. This has a little bit of character to it. And then we have a new one called hot and spicy, which is a little bit more spicy, not terribly spicy, but it basically gives everybody a choice as to what spice level they want to use in their nachos or their meals. We then have what we call a queso blanco, which is a white
That's a
cheese,
good one.
which is a great one for enchiladas and
perfect.
quesadillas. And then we have our condensed, which is what we started with, where you could like a condensed soup. You can add water, you can add jalapeno juice, and give it some more flavor.
Interesting. Now, on the Ricos line, we have those products, but then we have another line of products as well.
That's right. As we continue to grow as a company, we want to continue to grow our portfolio of brands. And so last year, we introduced a line called Texan Original. And Ricos is really all about fun, food, kids, family. Texan Original is really all about authenticity, freshness of products, handing down recipes from generation to generation, and the pride of being from Texas. So we have 3 flavors of tortilla chips, and we have some hot sauces as well, and we have some new products to hit shelves shortly.
The hot sauce is amazing, I will say.
Yeah, it is great stuff.
Now, do we want to talk about those little handy-dandy grab-to-go things that I'm in love with?
Of course. So thank you for mentioning that. We actually have what we call our portion packs, and that was something else that Frank actually invented, where you can break them apart, you can put them in a lunchbox, you can put them on a picnic table, and you just open it and dip. Now, what we also just have come out with is called our nachos on the go, and that basically has a bag of chips and one of those portion cups together. You buy it, you take it in the car, and you have a perfect snack.
That's perfect. You know,
Yeah.
even there's such a hefty amount of cheese in that product too. Sometimes maybe you might want to carry something with you.
Of course.
It's a little shorter.
Right.
It really is a great accompaniment. A lot of people don't know that the nachos that you have in most of the movie theaters, right, is this product.
That's right.
And that's actually one of my favorite things at the movie theater has always been the nachos.
Right.
So now it's here.
So now you can just call up whatever you want on cable or television and crack open a can, and you've got your own nachos.
Perfect. Why don't we dig in and see what
Sure.
this is all about?
This smells wonderful.
And we have the signature cheese that's in here.
The gourmet nacho cheese, and then
And
we've
the
got
nachos.
and the nacho chips as well.
Wow.
I could eat that forever.
You know, in today's fast-paced, over-communicated lifestyle, people search for really good products that they don't have to spend hours cooking.
That's right.
They can open it up, heat it up, or in this case, you don't even have to heat it. And it tastes great, it's good for you, and you have it.
Right. In fact, the first item that Frank brought to market was condensed, where actually you had to mix it with something. These are what we call ready to eat. So all you have to do is open the can, and you can, again, serve it on top of nachos, but even more importantly, you can make mac and cheese from it, you can put it on a burger, you can make casseroles out of it, and frankly, if you go to ricos.com, we have a whole slew of recipes to show you how you can use our different cheeses in different meals.
Incredible. Well, throughout this season, you're definitely going to see me whip up some really incredible, inventive cuisine using these products. But Andrea, it's been an absolute pleasure you being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
It's a good start of an introduction where you'll see Ricos all over the place with Taste This TV. But you've told the story, and it's up to me to kind of invent some food.
Go for it. Thank you.
All right, we're not finished yet. We got some taste tests using some more great products, so don't go anywhere. Taste this. Now, we're at Campione, and we're gonna eat. I mean, we're really gonna eat. So we're starting out with this quesadilla, which is really perfect because you got the cheese in there, the meat's in there, a good amount of heat, spices. Wow, heaven. The quesadilla definitely passes the crispy test, which both sides are crispy. It passes the cheese test because it holds everything in there and stuff is not plopping out there like a mess. I've had some quesadillas that were just disasters where you go and you try to bite it out and everything falls on the plate. It also passes the garden crunchy test. And what I mean by that is putting live vegetables that actually have a crunch in there and not dead vegetables that are sort of mealy, mushy. So it's got that garden kind of crisp taste, and that's what we're looking for. Now the heat, they surprise you with a few jalapenos in there, and if you're not ready, you might have to shoot to the water fountain or something, because if you can't handle the kick of a jalapeno, like I can't right now and I'm burning up, this will get you. But hey, you're in a Mexican restaurant, so what do you expect? Next, over to the taco dish. Tacos, mini tacos, definitely a thing of popular right now. This is a seafood taco. We got shrimp in there. We got a little bit of quesadillo, a little bit of guacamole in there, and we got our cheese. Looks like he's stringing a little bit of papaya on top of there too to give it that sweetness. And we also have the lime, which is also in here as well. Let's take a bite. All right. Shrimp is seasoned good. It's obviously fresh shrimp. It's got a crisp to it. It was cooked perfect. It's not overcooked. It's not undercooked. Looking good with that. There is a hint of lime zest in there, which kind of gives it that kick. If you go into a lot of places, my pet peeve is they don't season the bottom of the chicken. Don't ask me why, but all the time you'll lift up your chicken and there won't be any seasoning. I don't know if they think that maybe you don't need seasoning on the bottom, but anyway, a good chef will season all of its bird, even the cracks, the crevices, because all that flavor will be infused in the chicken meat. Let's see what we got here. And of course, the skin is crispy. Oh, wow. The chef here put a little bit of crushed red pepper on there, black pepper, and really got this thing going. If your hands and your mouth aren't greasy with this dish, you're not doing a good job as an eater. I can tell you that this is a must try. So you're in New York City, you want a little Tex-Mexican, you come down to 16th Street, check out Campeon Grill. If you're lucky enough, you'll see Liz at the bar holding a margarita greeting you at the door, and the chef will be cooking up fantastic food. Thank you for joining me on this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. I'm your host, Chef Joe Ciminera. Remember, there are no rules in cooking. Taste this. Hi, I'm Chef Joe Ciminera with Taste This Television. You know we got a great show for you here today. After touring New York City, Tex-Mex food, Mexican-influenced cuisine, one of my favorite cuisines to eat. And you know what? They did it right in New York City. But we're back now to the test kitchen to whip up another great recipe. And as usual, you know, I like to kind of do everything in one pot, like a one-pot type of cooking. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do my combination of potato and tortilla potluck. That's right. This is definitely a new one. We got some incredible chorizo sausages. We got some Ricos product. This recipe is not going to actually work without using the Rico chips because they're made special. They're thick. They have the right amount of salt for this, so you want to grab these. And then next, we're also going to be using the Ricos cheese. We're going to be using their premium cheese, and we're going to be using their queso blanco. So what we're going to do first is just basically sear these potatoes, and the dish is actually finished in the oven. So as you notice, I got two separate pans here. So the first one is going to be a non-stick pan, and what we're going to basically do is just cut these potatoes probably about a 1/4 inch thick or so. So let's slice these up. Like I said, you want them about a 1/4 inch thick or so. You know, nothing crazy. Next, we're going to start the dish. So now what you're going to do is take some oil. Of course, I always use olive oil. If you don't use olive oil, then it's not going to be good. I'll put the oils in like that. And you don't want to really over-season the potatoes yet, but you do want to put the potatoes right down in the center of the pan. The reason why I'm using a non-stick pan in the beginning is because if this pan isn't hot and you're not really experienced like searing stuff with your hot pan, it's going to stick and be a complete nightmare to take off. So what you're going to do is take your potatoes and we're going to take some salt, cracked black pepper, and we're going to make sure these potatoes line the bottom of the pan, because if they're going to line the bottom of the pan, then they're going to line the bottom of the pot that's going to go in the oven here. So we're going to let that do its thing. We want it to be golden brown before we put it in the oven. So let that cook on one side. Okay, now what we're going to do is take a look at our potatoes. We're going to take them over to the other side, and they should be looking golden brown, which they are. And a little extra oil will always help that go a long way. Now, the next stage is we're going to take these chorizo sausages that I have here. Now, if you wanted to season your potatoes with something else, like a little cayenne pepper or something like that, or cracked black pepper, you could do that. A little paprika might be good to change the color a little bit too. Don't get too crazy. All right, so our potatoes are looking good here. As you can see, they're nice golden brown, and that's exactly what we want. We don't want to overcook them, but we want to make sure that they get a nice sear on both sides. That's important. Okay, well, our potatoes are looking really good. Next, what we're going to do is take this chorizo, this incredible chorizo, and we're going to throw it in there. What you're going to start to smell is that chorizo releasing its flavor in the potatoes. Now, potatoes and chorizo are a marriage. Now with tortillas as well, it's going to soak up all that flavor and that extra juice. What we're going to do is just take these potatoes and we're going to line them into the pan. And we have it. Good. So all the potatoes are down at the bottom there. And we're just going to take these sausages, which are almost done. All right, so now what you're going to do is take these chorizos and throw them right in the pan. You don't need this pan anymore, so you can set that off to the side. But you will need this pan because this is going to start the process here on what we're doing. So the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that we put a little bit of this shredded cheese down there. That's actually important. We got this queso blanco here. Good stuff. So we're going to take some queso blanco, and I'm putting dollops, big dollops, right? So I'm going to make sure we use the whole can, all right? Okay, we got that. Next, we're going to take a little bit of this premium cheddar, and we're going to do the same. Before we do that, we're going to take our nachos, these incredible nacho chips, and we're going to place them over the center and above, and we're gonna actually push down some of that cheese in there, right? Next, what you want to do is then take the cheese. We're using the premium cheddar, and you want to really coat this baby all over the place. Like 1 can is really perfect for this, okay? All right, what you are going to do is you're going to smear this a little bit, just to make sure you get all the tops of the nachos. Because if you don't, then what happens is when you bake them in the oven, they get really, really hard. So you just want to go over it lightly, just to make sure you grab all of the nachos. Like, no, you know, not one nacho wants to be left out, you know. Nobody ever wants to be left out of the group. Well, the nacho is the same way. So bless that baby with a little bit of cheese. All right. Next, what we're going to do is put a little bit of this cheese over the top, because we want everything to kind of bind itself together. Now, I have some roasted jalapenos. We're going to put those on top like so. And I also have some pickled jalapenos that I boiled with vinegar. And we're going to put those babies whole right on there, because if you're a jalapeno lover, you can't get no more. You can't get enough of this stuff. So this is good stuff going down right here. And hell, put a couple of carrots in there too. It's what I did before. Now, we got a little chipotle sauce. Before we do that, I think we're going to get the beans involved. Now, we got some refried beans in here. Now, what is a dish like this without refried beans? So you're going to take your refried beans on top, and you're just going to throw them on the top. Again, there's no set way of doing this. You're just going to kind of marry all the flavors and everything else, right? Next, we're going to put the rest of our cheese over the top. And then we're going to finish with this chipotle sauce. Incredible, good stuff to finish this meal. Okay, here's the chipotle sauce. Make sure you bury this baby with chipotle sauce. I love it. Good stuff. Again, you know, you have these tortillas in here and you want them to soak up some liquid, so don't make it dry. All right, we're not finished yet. You know what? I may throw all these babies on there. Why? Don't leave anything out tonight. Now, what we're going to do is take a little bit of olive oil. Very important to put the olive oil on here, folks. Right over the top. I don't know, like maybe 2 swirls or so. And I don't know about your pepper in your house. Mine doesn't come already ground, so use yourself a mill. Put that black pepper all over that baby. Perfect. Now we're going to take this in an oven, 350 degrees for 35 minutes, and we're coming out with something banging, so don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. So after about 35 minutes, you have this creation that is definitely incredible. I mean, you have everything that you've ever wanted in Mexican food, Latin food, Tex-Mex, whatever you want to call it. This is fantastic. Now, our tortillas have been soaked enough to absorb all of the flavor, but still have that crunch in it. They're not a soggy mess. And that's why it's really important after you take this baby out of the oven, you consume it right away. All right, so now what we're going to do is plate it. Got our little pickled jalapenos there, which go, now look at this. Oh my God, are you kidding me with this? Woo! This is good stuff. And I want to make sure you get all that gran queso in there. Perfect. Now, the chorizo really adds the flavor to this dish, but it's really up to a whole combination of flavors that are going to make this dish fantastic. And if you stick exactly with the recipe and do exactly what I said, you're in for a treat, my friends. So what we're going to do is garnish this with a little bit of micro basil and cilantro mixed together right on top. So we got ourselves a winner. I'll leave this for you and take this big plate for myself. But thank you for watching this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. I'm your host, Chef Joe Ciminera. Remember, we got a YouTube page called Taste This TV, and if you want to access any of these videos at any time, just go on there and subscribe. Taste This.